Over 8 days in February 1972, President Richard Nixon visited the People's Republic of China in what's known today as the week that changed the world. This diplomatic breakthrough took place at the end of a 23-year freeze in US-China relations and had geopolitical repercussions that would stretch over decades. As a special assistant to Henry Kissinger, Nixon's national security advisor, Winston Lord was closely involved in the groundwork for the historic visit and was a core member of the presidential entourage in China. Lord later served as the US ambassador to China between 1985 and 1989. He recently spoke to China Daily about how the trip was seen by the American public and why the Shanghai Communique the trip produced was, as he put it, unprecedented in diplomatic practice.
First, there's always been abiding respect for China's long cultural history, the fact that it was number one for thousands of years, affection for the Chinese people. Secondly, I think the American people instinctively understood that this opening could yield diplomatic benefits for the United States. Over time, they could see that it was helping us with the Soviet Union by balancing the Soviet Union and giving Moscow an incentive to be more conciliatory toward us, that it might help end the Vietnam War. Thirdly, the American people were understandably fatigued and demoralized by years of domestic turmoil and the long and costly Vietnam War. We're concerned about our reputation and we're tired of carrying burdens. So this dramatic move, which clearly was popular around the world and which restored American credibility as a world leader, in turn lifted the morale of the American people. They could see we could act dramatically on the world stage despite Vietnam, despite years of riots in the United States, anti-war protests, racial divisions, etc., that we could still be a meaningful world player. So I think all these factors made this a popular move. We presented a rather traditional type of diplomatic communique, not naive. It didn't make it look like we were instant friends or allies. This was such an unusual, breathtaking initiative, an opening after 22 years of hostility and fighting each other, that the Chinese felt correctly that it was much too positive and unrealistic to have the kind of traditional diplomatic communique. Therefore, they felt that if we set out our differences, this would make our areas of agreement more credible because we acknowledged our differences. It would also reassure our respective friends and allies that we were not selling them out. It would also help us each domestically, after making such a 180-degree turn in our relations, that we were not overthrowing all our principles, so it would protect and condition our domestic audiences. So for all these reasons, the Chinese proposed it. And after our first initial surprise, even shock and worry, because we had only 48 hours before we had to leave Beijing, we recognized the merits of this. And it's been proven because there's never been a communique before or since like the Shanghai Communique. And after 50 years, it is still being invoked as one of the foundations of our relationship. Now, most communiques disappear within weeks. This has lasted for 50 years.